In a little more than a year, drug wars in Mexico have killed more than 7,000 people, and the cartels are now so powerful they outgun the police, sending law enforcement scurrying for cover. And U.S. officials are predicting the situation's on its way to becoming the next Iraq. The Senate's getting down to business right now. Live pictures here of Senator Joe Lieberman. They are investigating different options for the United States to intervene. Later today, Secretary of State Hillary Clinton arrives in Mexico to meet with President Felipe Calderón. And President Obama says we have to do more than just send money and manpower.
We need to do more to make sure that illegal guns and cash aren't flowing back to these cartels. That's part of what's financing their operations. That's part of what's arming them. That's what makes them so dangerous.
Joining me from Washington, D.C., MSNBC military analyst and retired U.S. Army General Barry McCaffrey. He's also the former director of the Office of National Drug Control Policy. General, good morning to you.
Good morning, Contessa.
We have been alerted now that the situation in Mexico is becoming dire. The actions that the president is taking, how far will that go in trying to quell the violence?
Well, I think the good news is you got the President of the United States engaged, and he's sending 3 of his principal cabinet officers to Mexico City to talk to our counterparts, Secretary Hillary Clinton, Janet Napolitano, and Eric Holder, the Attorney General. I think that's the good news. We have inadequately addressed this problem for the last several years. 7,000 murdered in the last 15 months. But I think to put it in context, we're sending 16 more DEA agents to the border, 37 more ATF agents to deal with gun smuggling. This is a tiny drop in the bucket. We're about to send 17,000 troops to Afghanistan. We've got to get our priorities focused on the Mexican border.
There is a report out today that seems to indicate some concern that the situation in Mexico is on its way to a criminal insurgency, that they've started employing terrorism tactics in Mexico to commit these crimes. I talked to the mayor of San Diego yesterday. He said he's not really seeing a problem in his city in terms of spillover violence. But if the situation becomes an insurgency in Mexico, could we see that?
Well, the Mexicans are hypersensitive, principally because of the loss of tourism, which has been dramatic along the border communities in particular, to the United States, implying they're a failed state or that they might become one. The fact of the matter is Mexico has lost law enforcement capability in significant parts of their own country. Their police are ineffective. In many cases, have been corrupted. The municipal and state police, they're in significant difficulties. They've turned to their own army to try and police the streets of Juarez. This is a major problem that's getting worse.
So is it enough that we're just trying to stop drugs coming into our country and guns going into their country? I mean, is there more that the United States could do, especially given that Secretary of State Hillary Clinton is heading there today? I mean, is this a bigger issue that has to be tackled on more fronts?
Oh, absolutely. I'm very encouraged by Secretary Clinton going down there. I think what you'll see in the coming 6 months is the next phase of engagement with Mexico. Look, we're doing a drop in a bucket. This is a 2,000-mile border. 1 million people cross that border every day, thousands of trucks and vehicles and rail cars. We simply have to do 2 things at the same time. One is get sensible immigration, which is a disgrace, that we force hundreds of thousands of illegal migrants to come across the border illegally, even though we need them in our agricultural system. And the second one is we've got to provide significant resources to Mexican authority. Both of them have to happen at the same time.
General, good of you to talk to us about this. Thank you.
Good to be with you, Contessa.
If you want more information on General McCaffrey, you can go to analysts.msnbc.com. Andrea Mitchell will anchor her show today live from Mexico City, where Secretary of State Hillary Clinton will arrive later today. You can see Andrea's show 1 p.m. Eastern Time.